Today we're going to be getting into something really special, replacing a glass panel in an iron door.
Iron door is different than the other slim lines that we went through the other day. These glass stops are welded. They'll be mechanically removed with these screws. Then we go to the other side, remove the caulking and the glass seal, pull the glass out, put the new panel in, and put it all back together. The iron door, as you can see where these screws hold in this frame. That's all there is to this side. The stops are held in with screws. A regular screw gun, what you'll do is you get in there, and a lot of times that screw is in at such an angle the gun will hit the glass. So the easiest thing to do to reconcile that is to use an extension. Now this is a 12-inch extension. You can get 6 inches, but you want to get that screw gun away from the glass and a better drive angle at this screw head. And of course the first one will be something that we'll run into is a strip screw. Use a nice little putty knife, let that get into the threads, and you remove that easily. All right, so how we pry this out is we use the same chisel we used to take the glass out. It's got that elongated edge that we put on there, and we're just driving that up between the glass and the metal. And it does have an adhesive on it, but it's a light adhesive, and that metal will work up. Some of these come out pretty tough, so you want to just make sure that you work them and you won't bend that frame. Okay, and as you're working this trim out, you can use a couple of shims, something to give you some better leverage. So we just keep working that out. There could be some caulking residue that's from the windows seeping through. Just work all the way around it and try to bring the whole piece out at the same time. And once it goes, all right. So we'll keep that up the way it came in. Make sure that we just don't turn it upside down. And now you can see where our caulking is exposed. That's the sealer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our machine and cut out around there, starting to loosen all that, get that caulking out of there. Now, this caulking can be removed by hand with a utility knife, a long blade, but it's much easier if you have one of these saws and you have a good access to all your corners. Same thing on the inside of the door. We cut all this caulking out. All right, that unit is loose. So we'll be careful to take this caulking off. Okay. So what we want to do now is once that glass is out, we just want to make sure we clean all that adhesive out of here. And here's one of the window setting blocks that was in from the factory, and we will be replacing those. Okay, so now that we've got the frame out, what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that our dimensions are correct with our glass measurements, so that before we take this piece out, that we're going to make sure that the new piece will fit in with no problems. So we've got the new window ready to go in, and we're just going to make sure that we clean all this little miscellaneous caulk and adhesive that's on the back. What this is just drag from when you caulk the window in, it pulls out and just barely hits that trim. And the caulking is an adhesive caulk, so it will hold it tight. We want to make sure that our screw holes line up, make sure we have the right side up. And that's perfect there. And again, this is Dow Sill 795. Putting a bead on the back of the window stop here, and we'll set our glass bumper, and then we'll caulk around the edges of the glass to seal it in completely. Now this is our glass bumper that we'll use just to make sure that that glass hitting any of the metal, the expansion of the metal will break the glass. The glass is going to sit down right on top of that. We center the glass in. A small window like this, you really don't have to worry about having somebody hold on to it extra, because there's plenty of adhesion to stick that glass in. But on a larger piece, you want to make sure you have a suction cup taped in from the back, just something to provide safety so that that won't fall down on you. Just getting rid of a little bit of excess caulking. All right, we're ready for the frame. And that frame will work in. The little tiny bit of caulking that we left on the inside of that window will act as an adhesive. And then we just reinstall the screws. Okay, window replaced. All we like is we'll clean this window off here. And you see by taking that out, we've got a couple little smudges here that we can touch that up with paint. I like getting rid of the extra caulk that squishes out when you're putting the new glass in, because that'll interfere with the new bead of caulking. We're gonna just put this last finished bead of caulking on, and then this will be done. Okay, installation trick. Window cleaner, hand soap, something, anything to get between your finger and the caulking, and just wet your finger and smooth that out. Just wanna make sure that the window is nice and clean. Get all your fingerprints and everything off, see any corrections. So then remember, the biggest part of this is patience and just making sure that everything is done systematically, consistently. Because this, you've got one shot at this, or you ruin a piece of glass, or you have to do something else, and more repairs, things like that. You're always gonna get a little bit of chips and stuff, like on these screw heads here. We'll just take a little bit of black finish paint and just touch those back up. The homeowner will be satisfied with the job, and you can go to the next one.
After all that, what have we really learned? It really comes down to 3 key things. Patience is everything. Rushing is the #1 mistake. Second, it's about technique, not force. Keeping your tools flat prevents damage. Trying to pry things just creates more work. And finally, a true professional respects the entire space. You protect the floor, you clean up your mess, you treat the job site with as much care as the job itself.
You know you've done it right when nobody can even tell you were there.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. The next time you approach any task, big or small, ask yourself this question. Am I just trying to get it done? Am I just making a repair? Or am I taking the time to do it right, with patience and precision?